We've all seen it. The famous movie scene or pop culture reference where artificial intelligence realizes that its intelligence is greater than mankind's, rising up and overthrowing us all. Well, apparently, that future is closer than we think. Welcome to the future, ladies and gentlemen, the future of music, the future of AI. Now, I'm well aware that there's been a lot of content creators talking about this issue. There's also been a lot of requests from you guys asking me to react to some different AI tracks and AI samples, and I wanted to take a moment to just kind of weigh in on this and sort of give my perspective, and also kind of create like a open discussion and open forum on this situation, on this issue, because it's not going away. It's only going to increase, and it's something that's going to really affect each and every one of our lives. So we'll start with the news headlines of Drake and by proxy, the big bad label known as UMG, who has been going after different AI songs mimicking and using Drake's voice. One of which is Winter's Cold, which thanks to the weapon of DCMA copyright strikes has been used to take down this song and serve a copyright claim to the creator. But what's interesting about that in other videos that I've made relating to the YouTube copyright system is that is not necessarily a legal action. We have yet to see an AI case from one of these big labels, from one of these big artists that has been taken to the courts themselves, which is really where this whole issue of AI will be decided in relation to music and copyright. It is crazy though. I mean, you can go onto TikTok right now and just see all kinds of AI songs that are trending, that are going viral, whether it's like serious songs by actual artists themselves, or it's maybe Joe Biden rapping your favorite verse. And as these trends and these clicks continue, listen, it's a competitive market. People are going to see opportunity within it. There's going to be more and more AI songs that are trending, that are going viral here on the internet, which for a lot of people is exciting. I mean, there's definitely a view that this is new innovation. This is a new time for us. It's like the invention of the internet in the first place. Welcome to the world of dial-up and AOL. You know, the advancement of a new era of change, a new era of technology that can progress humankind into the next generation. And obviously on the other side of this, there's people who are rightly skeptical. You know, is this forever changing the landscape of the music industry? Is this now the bastardization of art and what we know is original creation? And how far can these record labels and these artists go in terms of suing the people who create these AI tracks? Now, I've got an interesting quote from The Verge here on this situation and story. The problem with going down the copyright path to remove songs like Heart on My Sleeve and Winter's Cold, the Drake song I talked about, is that tracks aren't copying anything concretely protected by the law. Both songs appear to be written by a human who isn't Drake and fed into voice cloning software, so the compositions are new original works. An artist's voice, style, or flow is not protected by copyright for the most part. If an up-and-coming artist wrote their own lyrics, made a simple beat, recorded the vocals, and put it through the Weeknd machine, there's no individual existing work that's being copied. Promoting the new track as a song by the Weeknd would get dicey, but that would be closer to a trademark issue rather than a copyright issue. So basically in this case, there's still an original composition by a human being on the other end of it. AI is just simply the middleman that is just taking the voice, but it's the human who's delivering the inflections, the tone, the rhythm, and AI is converting that into a Drake sound or a Weeknd sound, or insert whatever artistic celebrity you want. So I get it. It's a murky gray area. You can't exactly just slap that with a copyright notice because it's not exactly copying an original work. It's not copying someone else's piece. The only thing that is different that's being used is someone's vocal tone, which, depending on what state you're in, depending on what copyright laws there are, also depending on what size and type of artist you are, there's not exactly a lot of protection if you think that you're just going to copyright strike all of these AI models. But as we know, laws can be changed. And I think what this whole AI era of music is going to do is it's going to really bring these laws to the forefront. And I think in the next few years, we're going to see new copyright laws being written around artificial intelligence. And that's not just for the music industry. That's for the literary industry as well. That's for the entertainment industry. I mean, the art industry as a whole. There is so many implications with this new era that we are now finding ourselves in. But okay, fair enough. There's still sort of that human side of things. AI is just kind of middlemaning, as we said. But what about AI that is originally generating songs? So I did a song, Checkmate, as most of you know, which talks about the Oxycontin epidemic in America. I go in on the corrupt FDA officials who were bribed by the Sackler family bribed by Purdue Pharma and how they even paid doctors, how they buried research, how they manipulated the market in a way so that all across America, you had doctors thinking it was okay to prescribe something incredibly addictive, an opiate like Oxycontin, to someone with a simple issue like back pain because they thought it was safe. And then surprise, surprise, if you went in for back pain, you got prescribed these pills, you don't realize how addicted you're getting to them when the doctor's like, right, all right, we're going to pull you off of it. Well, lo and behold, you have a full-fledged addiction and your entire body chemistry has changed because you've become reliant on this drug. And this is just one example of many throughout our history, how Big Pharma has taken advantage of its power and influence of an overstretched bureaucracy within the FDA, taking advantage of government oversight to push things that aren't exactly safe or should really be legal for us.
Little bit of Ritalin, fill it in, feeling ill again, so I fill it with Ritalin and delirium, a little more Librium, feel my equilibrium, I'm delirious, so I'm serious, black on my thoughts, my scars bring pain. These dark lords are Big Pharma, must not be named. Purdue Pharma, ain't assist, they twist descriptions, pay the doctors, solicit prescriptions, create this opera while the FDA orchestrates it all. We're really just pawns. Checkmate.
So in Checkmate, I use the imagery of a chessboard, of a game of chess, and I talk about the different game players and the corruption around Oxycontin. And I thought, you know what? Let's compare it to a robot writing about it. So I decided to log into ChatGPT, and this is what I said on chat. Can you write a rap song for me about the Oxycontin pandemic in America, using analogies relating to a chess game and tying it in with the corrupt players of the FDA and Big Pharma? And this is what it spat out. In this game of life, a chessboard unfolds while pawns are played and stories are told. But behind the scenes, a dark plot is set, an epidemic spreading. We can't forget. Oxycontin pandemic, a nation in pain, prescriptions flowing like a toxic grain. Oh, I do like that line. The FDA and Big Pharma move strategic, a dance of profit that moves intrinsic. Strategic, intrinsic? Yeah, I guess you could slant rhyme it. The chessboard set, the game's in play, corrupt players scheming, leading us astray. But we won't be silenced, we'll raise our voice, expose the truth, make the right choice. I mean, honestly, it's not bad. I like some of the symbolism, some of the word choice of the language that is used. I mean, in terms of like rapping and MCing, you guys know I like my compound, multi-syllable rhyme schemes. It's very simple, very basic end rhymes and what ChatGPT has given me. Also, we're not seeing like, you know, the wordplay, the double and triple entendres that a lot of rappers, a lot of MCs use. So I think for the moment, in terms of artificial intelligence replacing us, if you're a deeper artist that actually has like some substance to your lyricism, you don't have to worry just yet. But if you're a mainstream artist that relies on 10 or 15 ghostwriters to do your writing for you and your shallow lyrics, well, you don't really need that anymore. You can save your budget and just turn to a robot to tell you what to do. But you're already kind of a robot anyway, so just a natural transition. But honestly, I mean, this is just the initial phase of artificial intelligence. As machine learning continues to evolve, continues to get better, I'm sure we will see things like multi-syllable rhyme schemes. I'm sure we will see more wordplay because at the end of the day, these machines are learning from humans. They're learning from our bodies of work and taking all of this massive information and knowledge and figuring out ways to spin it and ways to put it together for us depending on the prompts that we give it. Which brings us back to the question, is this the end of music? Is this the end of art as we know it? And I think what we'll find as time goes on and technology develops is that this is really a philosophical dilemma of what is art and what is the human element relating to art? Because as a lot of us were raised and taught, you know, art is a uniquely human creation. It's not like you got an elephant running around drawing the Mona Lisa. We've always viewed ourselves as a superior race, and it's our creativity and our problem-solving dynamics that make us human, that separate us from others, that innovation within the human spirit that allows us to be at the top of the food chain. But is art solely human? Can a machine on its own create art? And I think right now at this exact moment in time, the answer is, well, yes and no. A machine can create art, but that machine has learned from all the other art that has been published and all the other images that have been fed to it, or all the other words and lyrics that have been given to program it. So therefore, even though this machine is creating maybe a unique piece for us, it is still drawing on the influences of the human experience. Still making that art in a sort of disconnected way human. And let's face it, when it comes down to creativity, this is another philosophical discussion. There's not exactly an idea that's 100% completely original. We as humans can't help but draw from the experiences of the world around us. Whether it's the books that we read, whether it's the music that we listen to, the shows that we watch, the other artists, the other minds minds that we are inspired by. In one way or another, it seeps down into our subconscious, it seeps down into our thought process, and it does affect the works that we churn out as artists. And the best creativity is always borrowed. You know, you start off with the seed of an idea, and maybe you're inspired by something that you see or something that you feel, and then you take it and you make it your own, and you develop it and you hone it from there. Much in a way, I suppose, that AI is starting to do and machines are starting to do. So what does that mean for our future? Is AI good or is AI bad? Well, I thought I'd let another intellectual mind and an artist that I respect weigh in on it, so let's check out what Ren has to say on this issue.
I wanted to talk about something for a second, and this is it's a lot more important than music. It's a lot more important than fucking what I'm up to. Whoever's been watching the AI space, the tech advancement space, will know that it's been increasing exponentially in the past few months, even to the point where it's kind of surprising developers at how quickly things are moving in a short frame of time. But it's gotten to the point where you've got people like Geoffrey Hinton, who was working over at Google and was largely responsible for a lot of the core technology around things like ChatGPT, quitting his job because they're so alarmed at the rate now of how these things, where they're headed, to the point where there's concerns that they will be more intelligent than human beings. And the other concern is we're basing this technology on human beings. And we're not a great example if you look at our hierarchy within the natural kingdom of what we do to beings that are less intelligent than us, right? Which is...
What are you talking about? We're not that great in terms of how we treat each other, much less things that we view as lower than us.
They're the problem, really. When you listen to these people in interviews, when they're asked the question, so should we pull the plug then? That makes the most sense. They're like, nah, because there's so many people rushing to do this. We can't really fight the progress of it. It's happening. So the real important question is, how do we do this ethically? And we're in a very precarious situation because...
I think that's the thing, is that the bottle has been opened. It's not going back in the bottle at this point in time. No matter how you feel about AI or your opinion on it, it's not going away now. It is definitely beyond that point where we could have had more restriction and more control on it.
We as human beings exist within a competitive market, so we're racing to the finish line. Even these big tech companies, they're firing their ethics team because they feel like they're slowing down progress in these big firms, which is a really scary prospect because they just want to essentially be the first ones to do it. But it's stupid, basically. Humans are stupid. We're trying to...
I think even Hinton, when he quit Google, he referenced one of the reasons that he quit was because Microsoft had released its AI coupled with Bing. And then there was a lot of pressure on that competition between Microsoft and Google because they realized the power of being like essentially the next Google for AI. You know, where do you turn when you need to find information, when you need to gather stuff? Whoever controls that platform and that threshold at the gate is going to have so much power in the future, much in the same way that Google won that war in the .com era, you know, in the internet bubble in the first place. Well, this is a brand new era. This is an opportunity for a lot of businesses, and there's going to be a ton of competition for it. There's going to be a ton of people that are rushing to get to the front because they see the profits, they see the power of this, of being essentially like the next Google, or Google wanting to continue to maintain its throne and maintain its control. And you can see where the dangers are of that when you have a goal and you want to reach that goal and you're using any means necessary to reach those ends. That's not necessarily a very good thing for humanity and a very good thing for us morally.
That because we've got this sort of like, I want to be the first, I'll get the most profit margin sort of mentality, which completely overlooks the really fundamental question is this good for the human race? Like, is what we are working on right now, is this going to be beneficial for us? And the thing is, this technology is something that could be beautifully beneficial for the human race, like bio-augmentation, what it offers for things like healthcare, science, having a machine that can think so much more effectively than human beings could be the next step of evolution, just an external evolution of humankind. It's a very exciting time. But it's only exciting if we're asking the right questions and being ethical about it. We can't do that inside a competitive market if we're not working together. So it's crucial that we start working together. The problem is if say like, and this is the argument, say America stopped working on it or England stopped working on it, they're like, well, China's just going to do it then. They're going to beat us to it. So we have to just keep on going. It's like the arms race. It's like the more nuclear weapons we have, the less chance there is of war. It's a totally backwards ideology that's based on a competitive market, and we need to escape it, because we're not just talking about money now, we're talking about future. Do you know what I mean?
And actually, speaking of nukes, it makes me think of a Elon Musk tweet that he made in regards to AI. Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. Why do we have no regulatory oversight? And what Bren touches on and what Elon touches on there, I think is the most important discussion that we need to have around this advancement of AI today is the regulatory oversight. And we dove into a little bit of that at the beginning, talking about copyright and its relation to that. But this goes even deeper into the regulation of AI. It's sort of backwards in a sense, because right now AI has been put out there by the developers. And what they're doing is, instead of like fixing all the bugs, instead of making sure that things are running properly, asking sort of difficult questions in terms of how it's processing, how it's working, they're just putting it out there for the public. And now the public has access to it, and the public is using it. And then their thought process is that, well, as the public uses it, it's machine learning. It'll learn things. We'll learn how to better use it. We'll make adjustments and adaptations to it, which is completely backwards, because as you guys know, before a product normally comes to the market, especially something that has a great impact like this, it's tested, it's put through trials, it's made sure that it is safe for humanity, safe for society before it gets released. But like we talked about, we have such a hyper competitive environment. Everybody sees the value of being the first to the finish line, that we're kind of pushing certain things and questions and regulations aside for the sake of getting to that finish line. And that's where we really need to be careful. Listen, as humans, we're not comfortable with change. We may say we are, but oftentimes when you look at the great changes within our history, there's always been blowback. There's always been people who have protested it. There's always been jobs lost. There's been people who have been very, very upset by it, because it's kind of this fear of the unknown, this great uncertainty with what's ahead. And people get so easily connected with the here and now. They get connected with the good old days that, you know, innovation and change can actually be a very scary thing. And I think that's what we're seeing now with a lot of the conversation and the discourse around AI. Is AI a bad thing? Not necessarily. It can really have a lot of benefits that help society and help us progress as a world, you know, helping us medically, helping us with the legal system, helping us just in the way that our infrastructure and systems are set up with the advancement of our technology. There's so many benefits to it out there. But at the same time, there's a lot of dangers. And I think we all have to appreciate the gravity of this situation and how critical it is that we need regulatory oversight, that we need to ask hard questions with AI. It's okay to be skeptical of it. It's very okay to be skeptical of it. I think we need to be more careful and responsible in how we use this technology and how we develop it. But I don't know. I mean, honestly, these are just my initial ramblings. I've just started to dip my toe into the realm of AI. I would love to get your guys' thoughts on this. You know, what you think about it. I'm sure there's people who have studied this a lot further. I'm sure there's some programmers out there who know a lot more about it than I do. I would love to hear your thoughts on kind of just the future of AI and where it's going, what some of the dangers are, if you think it's a good thing for humanity, if you think it's bad. Also, I want to get your guys just feeling as just a general listener of music. Have you been bumping any AI songs recently? Do you like them? Do you enjoy them? Do you want to hear more AI? Are you afraid of it? Do you feel like it's infringing on artistic rights? Do you feel like it's not cool basically to like take someone else's voice and make them say things that they would never say? Let me know what you guys think. I think from my side of things, it's definitely an issue I'm going to be making more videos on. I mean, maybe we'll look to bring guests on and do more like podcast style interviews like I did with Ren, start talking to more people, getting more discussions going, because I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I just like talking on issues and speaking on different things going on within our world today. But anyways, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay positive. If you're somehow here at the end, then do me a huge favor. Subscribe, notifications on. It really, really does go a long way. You know what? I'll catch you again.